Thank you for stopping by Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the new Traeger Pro 780 with the D2 drivetrain and the WiFire technology. Now some of you might be saying to yourself, this looks like the same old Traeger, same old price tag. Well, I'm fixing to show you in depth some details that are going to change your view on that. Now let's take a look at the inside, but before we do, I need to say that I've had this grill for a couple of weeks now, and I have cooked on it probably 7 or 8 times. So this is not going to be a brand new showroom looking grill. It's been used, like I say, 7 or 8 times. There is some grease in there, but I have cleaned it up pretty good. But it is a used grill, okay? So this is the inside, plenty of space. A couple things that they've added that I really like. Instead of the RTD probe, the internal probe, being a big tall probe, they've now included it on the side, and it's really short, so it's going to be out of the way. Also, the heat shield is really easy to take in and take out. They've made that a lot easier. Line up the tabs, and it's right back in place. Like I say, I have used it, and I do line my drip pan with foil, so I've already lined it, but this is a steel drip pan. It's not stainless. But what I do like about it is they have included some little notches on both sides of the drip pan, so that when you put it in place, the little catch right there lines up and holds it in place, so it's not going to rattle around anymore like other drip pans do. So I'm going to put that in place. Now, as you can see, it slides right in place, and it's not going to go anywhere because of those notches. I really like that feature as well. Now, the grill grates are nice size. They're porcelain coated grill grates, and I'll put those in. They go in really easy. And there they are. Now, I do have the optional front shelf, folding front shelf on here, but one thing is not optional is the top shelf, but you don't see it in here, and that's one of the features that I like about it. Let me show you where it's at. So here's your top rack when you're not using it. I really like this feature. They've incorporated 2 tabs on the back of the grill, and whenever you're not using that front rack, that top rack, you just take it off, bring it around here and hang it. You've got somewhere to put it besides on your deck or on another grill or something like that, and get it all nasty. You've got a place to hang it, and I really like that. I wish more grill companies would start doing stuff like that. Another thing that separates this version of the Traeger grill versus the older versions, such as a Pro 34, is the shape of the barrel. This is a pill-shaped barrel. In other words, it's a circle that has been stretched, so it's taller than the older versions, which is going to give you more vertical cooking space than the old versions. Now, because of the pill-shaped cooking chamber, the distance between the grill grate and the top of the cooking chamber is a little over 12 inches, about 12¼ inches. On some of my other pellet smokers, it's about 9 inches. So that's a little over 3 inches of cooking space that you're gaining vertically in this cooking chamber. A couple other details that I really like that they've added a little seam right here in the bottom and a seam right here on the top, so that when you close your lid, it has a nice seal to it, and that's going to prevent smoke from escaping out of the top or at the bottom. Also, they've added a piece of trim right here. It's kind of an angle, a piece of steel angle. And what that's going to do, number one, is it gives it some rigidity, as well as creates a downdraft where the smoke is going to come over the lid and down back into the grill, as well as grease, instead of dripping down the front of your grill, is now going to go back onto your drip tray. Now, as far as the exterior goes, it's a powder coated finish. You can get this in black, solid black, or black with a bronze lid. Personally, I like the black on black. It just gives it a nice sleek look, and it really pops with the orange stickers that I have, so I'm a big fan of that. Now, as far as capacity goes, it's 780 square inches. Now, some people say, well, the Pro 34 had more square inches. This one has less square inches. But you're talking about square inches on the actual cooking grate. Again, you've got about 2 or 3 more inches vertical cooking space as well. So don't forget that. Also, that's about 34 hamburgers or 6 racks of ribs or 6 whole chickens. Now before we get into the controls, one other feature that I really like, and it's a simple feature, but I love it, and I wish other grill companies would think of stuff like this, is the cord. You can actually unplug it. And when you want to store your grill, you just unplug it, put it in your hopper, and you're done. Other grills, there's nothing you can do with the cord except flop it over the hopper or over the top of your grill. You're trying to move your grill around, you're running over it and stuff like that. So I really like that feature. Now we're really going to get into how this Pro 780 earns its value, and that's in this box right here in the hopper, specifically the control box. 18-pound hopper, first of all, but this is the star of the show in my opinion. Before I get into it real deep, Whiskey Bent Barbecue, y'all give that a look. Whiskey Bent Barbecue Supply, Chad Ward and all those guys, shout out to them, give them a look. I love this controller right here. It's got a power switch on the back that you can turn off and on, and you just hold that in, and then there goes the Traeger symbol, and it's ready for you to tell it what to do. And when I say tell it what to do, there's a lot of different things on here that you can actually tell this grill what to do. First of all, let's talk about the D2 drivetrain. It's a brushless DC system, DC current, DC power. The motors for the fan and the auger are variable speed. They are brushless, so they're going to last a lot longer. A lot of power goes into this auger, and it's also got a thing called turbo temp. When you first start this grill, it comes up to temp really quick because of the variable speed auger and fan. It can really vamp up the speed of both, and so you get up to temp a lot quicker than normal. Now while I'm talking to you about the other features, I'm going to go ahead and start it up and just put it on 350, and we'll see how long it takes it to get to 350 while we're talking about it. So I'm just going to dial up the temp to 350, hit enter, and hit ignite, and now it's starting up. It also has Wi-Fi capability that hooks to your smartphone through the Traeger app. So what can you do with all this technology? Well, number one, whether it's on your phone or through the menu button, you can do what's called use the Traeger Grill Guide. And the Traeger Grill Guide lets you customize cooks. I think there's 2 customized cooks already loaded on here. And those cooks are either, I think it's the beginner brisket, and there's also a chicken cook that's already loaded. And basically if you hit enter on one of those cooks, it's automatically programmed in here as far as what temperature it's going to cook at, for how long, and what internal temp it's going to stop the cooking process at. You can customize any of those cooks. So for example, if I want to do a chuck roast cook, I can go in this menu or use my cell phone and go to step 1, start at 250 for 2 hours. And then after 2 hours, if I want to ramp up the temperature to 350, I can do that for step 2. And then after 2 hours, it's going to automatically change from 250 to 350 degrees without you doing anything. Step 3 can be, I want the internal temperature to be 195 degrees, and then at that point I want you to keep it warm, and once your internal temp gets to 195 degrees, the grill is going to go down to a keep warm temperature and keep it warm until you tell it to do otherwise. So all of that is where this grill gets the value. All of that is what makes this different from last year's Pro 34. Other simple features that they've included in this controller that really help out even a beginner pellet grill smoker is the auger prime. There's a feature in here when you first get your grill that is actually an auger primer setting, and if you hit that, it's going to prime the auger for you. It's set, I think, for 4 minutes, and it simply runs the auger without using the fan, without using the hot rod, because the fan and the hot rod are not needed just to prime the auger. So when you hit that setting, for 4 minutes your auger spins, it primes the auger with pellets, and then it cuts off, and then you're ready to start smoking. Now one of the other features that's really awesome that comes along with being a part of the Traeger family is the Traeger app. There are so many things that you can do off of the Traeger app. It would take too long for me to explain in this video, but it's things like almost endless recipes that you can get off of the Traeger app, cooking tips off of the Traeger app. Also, with the Traeger app on the phone that's included with the Wi-Fi, you can shut down the grill, you can change the temp from inside or from town if you had to run to town and go do something else. You can hit the keep warm button. There are timers that you can set for different things. So it's just an endless array of possibilities that come along with using the Traeger app, the Wi-Fi, the grill guide. All of those things are really amazing and almost mind-blowing as far as the possibilities that you can come up with while you're doing a cook. A couple other cool features: it does come with a temp probe. There is a rubber grommet right here that you can run the temp probe through, so you can check the internal temperature of your meat without opening the lid. You can check that internal temperature of your meat by the menu selection or off your phone if you have Wi-Fi hooked up. We did name the grill. Sweet thing, by the way, my wife actually named the grill, and when we turn on the Wi-Fi setting and it connects to the grill, it actually says Sweet Thing, and if it's off, it says Sweet Thing is asleep. So that's kind of cool. Some other really cool features though: it has the keep warm, and it is already set up in here with a pellet sensor. Now I believe the Traeger Timberline and the Ironwood both have a pellet sensor inside the pellet hopper, and it'll actually tell you the level of your pellets so that you don't run out. This one's already set up for that. You just have to buy the sensor, mount it right inside here. It's already set up in the control panel, so then you're ready to go. That's a pretty cool feature as well. So that's really a rundown of the Traeger Pro 780. Now, just like all my other reviews, this is going to be an honest review. Is there anything that I would change about this Pro 780? There's some things that I would change. If I was making it, there's a couple things that I would change. Number one, it's not that big a deal, but if it was me, I would prefer stainless steel grill grates rather than the porcelain coated grill grates. I think the porcelain coated grill grates are going to be fine. I've had a lot of grills with porcelain coated grill grates. I just prefer the stainless steel grill grates. So that's number one. That's not that big a deal to me though. The second thing that's a little more of a big deal, this is a big step up in my opinion from say the Pro 34 of last year, of years past, as far as build quality. It's taller, it's bigger, it's stronger, it's more technologically advanced than those grills. But in my opinion, I hate this lid latch. This lid latch does not match the quality of construction of the rest of the grill in my opinion. I think they could come up with some kind of better system for a lid stop than just that little bitty arm that they've got inside. I've always hated that little arm. It's not very strong, and I think that they could do something a little better to match the advanced quality that they've come up with in this model. Last but not least, and this is a big pet peeve of mine, and I'm sure there's some engineer somewhere that came up with some algorithm that came up with an 18-pound hopper, and he's probably making a lot more money than I'm making. At the same time, I'm a common sense kind of guy, and I don't know about you or where you get your pellets. By the way, it's beeping because it's letting me know it's up to temp, and it took about 7 minutes to get from 0 to 350 degrees. I don't know where you get your pellets, but where I get my pellets from, they come in a 20-pound bag. And this is an 18-pound hopper. And if you can explain that to me, and make it make sense, I'd like to hear it. 20-pound bag of pellets, 18-pound hopper. Call me crazy, but if it's me, if I'm selling 20-pound bags of pellets, I'm going to make a 20-pound hopper so that I can pour the whole bag in there. What am I going to do with the other 2 pounds? That doesn't make sense. So Traeger, 20-pound bag of pellets, make a 20-pound hopper. You can pour the whole bag in there, throw the bag away, and be done with it. I don't understand how you came up with 18 pounds. Somebody explain that to me. That's my biggest pet peeve. Does that do away with the quality of the grill? It doesn't. I think this is an amazing grill, and I'll be honest with you. I had a Traeger Timberline, and I really had a choice between getting rid of a Traeger Timberline or getting rid of the 780, and I'll be totally honest with you. I enjoy cooking off this Pro 780 more than I did that Traeger Timberline, and I no longer have that Traeger Timberline. That's how much I like this grill. It's simpler as far as the internal components. I know some people would like having 3 grill grates. Keep in mind that's 3 grill grates you got to keep clean. I like the simplicity. I like the size of this grill, and I think it's well worth the money. $9.99 for all the technology you get in this controller, plus the Traeger app and all the improvements they've made. I think it's a thumbs up from Just Piddlin Barbecue, and I hope you give it a look. Check out my website, www.justpiddlinbbq.com. I've got some signs like I had in the start of the video on there. If you want something customized, let me know and I'll customize it for you. If you hadn't already, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll be piddling. Thank you for stopping by Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new. So now it's taller, and that gives you more room inside the grill to cook. What separates this grill from the other versions, such as the Pro 34, is the shape of the. Now, because of the peel kick. So that's a little over 3 inches. So also that's about 34 hamburgers. Is it hamburger? If I don't get jumped out, hold on a minute.